Hello and welcome everybody to the self-improvement segment where commercial real estate meets self-improvement. I'm here, Aurélien, mindful investor with Logan, and today we're going to discuss finding deals. That's the heart of being an investor. You're always looking for deals, good deals, preferably. And Logan, you want to get us started?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this is the two things that people, once you've graduated past the understanding what is this whole thing of real estate, and you get over the fear of like actually talking to people and running the numbers on properties. I think that's probably the biggest first question is running the numbers on properties. But once people get past that, it seems like the biggest hurdles are finding deals and financing. And we're going to talk about financing later, but today's is all about finding deals. How do you go about finding good deals? Because there's a lot of properties out there. You can look all over the internet and see them on LoopNet and Crexy and so on and so forth. But how do you know you're finding a good deal? And how do you find those deals? How do you actually reach out and find those? That a lot of the properties that investors are going to want are off-market deals. So specifically what I want to talk about today is off-market. How do you find those off-market deals? So,
Cool.
yeah.
So how do you find them?
Well, for me, it's a couple of things. The three main categories or three main areas that I utilize to focus focus my efforts on when it comes to finding off-market deals are utilizing a service called Reonomy. It's a software that pulls owner data from various different sources, but it pulls it all together. So you get a picture of the property, you get the rundown of who owns it, the tax records, things like that. But it oftentimes will pull together a phone number, an email address, so on and so forth. So what I'll do is I'll utilize Reonomy and I'll put them through a cold calling process. So I'll cold call them. I will also email them. I will, look at them on LinkedIn. If they're on LinkedIn, I'll connect with them on LinkedIn, and then I'll also send them a handwritten letter. So that's kind of the 1, 2, 3, 4 when I find a property. So kind of backing up a little bit, I obviously am not just searching all properties in the world. I'm focusing on my niche, which is industrial, on the size of my niche. So I narrow that down to 10 to 50,000 square foot industrial buildings that I want to look at. And then from there, I can look in the areas that I want to look and then pull a list and start calling, start emailing, start texting. And that's one way that I go about it. Other brokers are a good way. There are other brokers out there who do what I do and who have these types of properties. So me as a broker or, an investor, make friends with brokers because, they get handed properties all the time. Or if they're good at their job and they're doing what I'm doing and prospecting all the time, they're getting a lot of leads that pop up. So make sure you're friends with them, make sure they know what you want to buy and that you can close, and you'll start getting leads from brokers. And my third and final way that I love to do is driving for dollars. I love driving for dollars, because something that might not look like a deal or might not look like it's right up my alley online, when I drive by it and drive by the area, might actually look like, wow, this is better than I thought in person. So as I'm driving, if I see a property that looks like one that I'd like to buy, I'll look up the owner. Typically, you can go to the county website and look up who owns it, and there'll be an address there, and I'll shoot a letter to them. So, it can be kind of cumbersome, but I've found some sources to make it a little bit easier. One of them is a service called Mailbox Power, which helps you automate. You can do things like postcards. You can even send coffee mugs with your name on them, but it helps you automate the follow-up. So you can set a recurring campaign to send a postcard monthly, every other week, whatever you want to do. So those three, using Reonomy, and then the various methods I talked to you about: cold call, email, LinkedIn, handwritten letter. And then the second one would be other brokers. And then the third one is driving for dollars. So that's kind of how I go about my business. So.
Yeah, I'm in the process of doing the same thing, like finding the owners. So what I've done, I'm in Canada and there is no Reonomy here that I know of. So I have a friend who makes lists and he put together a list of tenants. And so I call the tenants asking for, so I explain that I'm a landlord myself. I'm trying to get a hold of their landlord to network and if they would give me the information. So some people do. Some people call me back with the info, others don't want to share, and that's fine. I tell them no worries. And then, once in a while, I get it's like a funnel, I get maybe 1% or 10%. 10% provide me with the information I'm looking for, and then I call the owner, and it's a soft sale. I tell them about myself, so I kind of introduce myself, tell them that I'm an investor, like they are, and I'm looking at expanding my portfolio, and if they would consider selling, if they have thought ever of selling their property, and if not, that's okay. And I said to them, is it okay that I stay in touch? It's going to be a light touch, maybe once a year, just to check in. And would you give me your email address? And then I take the email address and then I use it to send nice Christmas message, or when we have holidays, I send a nice message telling them about me, what I'm doing, and hoping that they're doing well. So just to create a rapport. I think it's essential. Like you do contacting through LinkedIn, try to create a rapport with the owner, so that you create a relationship, just like with investors, and you create the rapport, maintain the rapport, and then until the day they decide to sell, then they're going to think of you, and approach you, and hopefully to sell it to you.
Yeah.
um, One trick I was taught by Ash Patel, who some of you may know. When you're looking for commercial property, it's always a good idea to look at brokers, residential brokers that have their own website and that have a section for commercial, because they will post commercial deals and they may not be aware of how to properly price them. So that could be a good source of leads, and I
Sure.
think that's a pretty smart recommendation from Ash, and something I've been doing myself. And he also insists on the importance of checking and looking for deals on a regular basis. And if you're every day looking for deals, if you have the discipline of looking for deals on a regular basis, you will end up finding deals. You will end up finding good deals, and people will want to invest with you if you're good at finding good deals.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love that. I love all those. It's kind of a throwback to the residential days when it used to be residential. One of the things that we would always look for are for lease signs or for rent signs, and then call that owner, because especially if it's not listed with a brokerage, but if it's just a for rent by owner sign, because they would you never know when you're going to come across that landlord that just is done. They don't want this is vacant. They're tired of it. They just want to be done with it. Or you never know, they may be towards retirement and they're ready to sell. So the same thing with the commercial side. I love that you're contacting tenants and working your way up to the owner that way. That's pretty smart, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. And especially it's a good way to get real information, because there's a lot of information. I do a lot of digging through services like Reonomy, and it's multiple times a day where I'm calling and it's, I don't own that property, or that's not, this is the wrong number. So I think it's a great way to actually get the real information you're looking for. So yeah. Good tip.
Okay, so I think today is a brief episode, and I think
Yeah.
we've covered the essential of finding deals, and insisted on the importance of finding deals. And just to say, we have this Facebook group, True Commercial Real Estate Investment Group. So feel free to join us on Facebook, and that's one place where people post deals as well. And so feel free to look there, and join us the first Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have a guest. Our next guest is going to be Logan.
Tyler Cobble's coming on. Tyler's going to be our next guest. If you've not followed Tyler, he's awesome. He's got a ton of content out on YouTube. He's in the Nashville area. He's a commercial broker there, and an investor and a developer, and has just got a ton of experience under his belt, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely tune in the first Wednesday of next month. It's going to be great.
And then it's followed by 2 weeks later, we have our mastermind. So we have mastermind right before at 7:30, the first Wednesday, and then at 8 p.m. with networking 2 weeks later, the Wednesday at 8 p.m. again. And and Tyler, I saw today in your post, Logan, that Tyler interviewed one of our former guests, Charlie Griffiths. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I was commenting back and forth on their YouTube channel, said, hey, our next guest with our previous guest. So this is cool. So apparently they know each other well. So it'll be good. I'm excited to have them on.
Awesome. Okay, well, good to see you, Logan. Good to see you, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed the show today.
Good to see you as well. Take care.
Bye.